Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 video. You join us today for another episode of Impact. If I'm being honest, I think it will be quite a quick episode. It's just basically continuing along the tournament that we've got going. It's really just making sure we get a main event that draws really well, increases our pop, and just kind of make sure we have the best pay-per-view possible when it comes to the World Cup. So without further ado, shall we just jump into it? Let's do this. This week's Impact. Let's go! So this week's Impact, we start with a sports entertainment hype segment to start the show. And we have Joe Doring and Eric Young just talking about how they attacked Enzo and Big Kaz last week. And they say they might be facing Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood in the main event tonight. But Eric Young and Joe Doring will be watching that, and they'll make sure that Enzo and Big Kaz do not come out of that victorious. They will do whatever they can do to make the life of Enzo and Big Kaz a living nightmare, basically. So Enzo and Big Kaz comes out and say, yeah, okay, you're nothing but soft, S-O-F-T. Yeah, we understand that you took us out last week, that's fair enough, we get a bit of a wake-up call from that. So we know what we're dealing with you guys. We certainly know what we're dealing with the likes of Dax and Cash. And we're going to prove really premier tag team in Impact Wrestling. So that's a 59 for that. We had some singles action. Matt Cardona over Jake Christ in 11:41 with the Rough Rider. A 45 here. Matt Cardona with a 47 to Jake Christ's 38. Just giving Matt Cardona some momentum. We had a backstage argument and fight basically between the Impact World Champion Rich Swann and Moose. Just with this programme, we're basically just building up to their matchup at the pay-per-view. So I felt like we'll keep them away from each other in the ring, but just continue to have some heated segments backstage. So there's a lot of meaning when they go to finally tango, rather than just he keep beating me, etc. We had a terrible matchup. They had Taya Valkyrie defeat Alicia Edwards in 8:19 with a winging side slam. Just a 32. I always seem to make Taya lose, so let's give her a wee push. So this was to gain her some momentum, and hopefully Alicia gains a bit of overness through the exposure of being on Impact. We then had a promo with Tenille Dashwood. She says, it's time for the world to just start looking at me. Starting from tonight, you will see a new Tenille Dashwood. One that will be a future Knockouts champion. That was a 43. Tenille was in action. She faced Killer Kelly, and Tenille picks up the win in 7:49 with the roaring elbow. So that's a 35. Tenille with a 39 here. She was off her game, and Killer Kelly with a 23. So again, just really get these kind of. When I'm booking these kind of shows, the third and fourth ones are a bit interesting because you can't book the same thing 4 weeks in the trot because it's all on the same night. So you have to obviously make sure you're not fatiguing your workers and then getting injuries. So you all have a bit of filler here and there. We then had Joe Doring defeat Petey Williams at 8:20 with the Revolution Bomb. A 44, obviously Petey Williams will always have a good in-ring performance no matter his age. And Joe Doring's obviously gaining that overness show by show. And that's reflected with his 38 in-ring performance. Moving along, we had Jordan Grace pick up another victory, this time over Kimber Lee in 8:09 with a fall from Grace. A 43 matchup here is Jordan Grace at a 43 and a 40 for Kimber Lee. After this one, she cut a promo on the Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo, and she basically states, we've battled before and you may have come out on top, but I'm feeling good. I've had a couple of victories now, and I'm thinking I'm ready to take that Knockouts Championship from you. So no reply from Deonna Purrazzo. She obviously is in the back with her now fallen teammate. But yeah, Jordan Grace is chasing for that Knockouts Championship. We had our quarterfinal matchup, and that was the North defeating Phoenix and Suicide in 7:39. When Ethan Page pinned Suicide with the spinning facebuster. Suicide the weak link's obviously not over. A 20 here, 59 for Phoenix. I'm quite happy with that. Obviously we know they don't work well as a team, so their elimination is going to happen fairly quickly. But a 50 overall still good. I'm hoping that over these couple of episodes in this taping block, that we can certainly see the best out of Suicide. We then had Darby Allin in action, and he took on Brian Myers, wins in 13:03 with the coffin drop, so that's his wrestling in-ring debut. I don't know how his gimmick's getting stale, considering like the save has only just started, and it's like his second appearance, but a good win in a 51 rated matchup. Darby gets a 56 to Brian Myers 42. We then have a promo, which is Ken Shamrock cutting that on Darby Allin, and he just says, "I would make sure you stay the hell out of my business. We all know about my past, and I am the most dangerous man on this planet, and I won't hesitate to hurt you." So at the moment it is just going to be a gimmick match between Shamrock and Callahan. However, because of the 4-week build, we obviously don't know after the tapings if the AEW guys will be available. If they are available, we'll go 2v2. It'll be Shamrock teaming with Penta to take on Darby and Callahan, which could be quite mental. So that's a 41. We then had our announcers put over that we'll see Leo Rush versus Will Ospreay next week on Impact for the X Division Championship. That was at 38. And with the promo, so it ends on Big Cass just having a verbal beatdown of Wheeler and Harwood, just saying how bland, how plain they are, and then they'll be advancing to the semi-finals. That was a 59. And the match is a 52, and that's not what you like to see. A good matchup. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler defeated Enzo and Big Cass in 12:30 when Dax Harwood submitted Enzo with an inverted figure 4. A 52 here. Dax Harwood has sustained a cracked tailbone, and he was slowed down by the injury. Is that going to rule him out? I'd imagine so. So, well, good thing is, they advance to the semis. The semis don't take place for 4 weeks, so if he's still available, we might get away with that. So 52 main event, and after the matchup, a 4-on-2 beatdown. Wheeler, Harwood, Young and Doring just completely dismantle Enzo and Big Cass, and they stand above the fallen baby faces. So overall, 53 rated show. It does the job of securing pop gains. I think we've done okay here in the fact that we've managed to, I'd say, gain momentum for a few people that maybe needed it in terms of the women's division. We've obviously had a bit of a setback with that injury that I'll need to look into, and yeah, just a shame that the Phoenix and Suicide stuff doesn't work. So a few things before we get to next week's episode then. Obviously next week we'll see, the next episode you see will be Leo Rush versus Will Ospreay for the X Division Championship. We will be debuting an exclusive written contracted star at the pay-per-view, because their contract wasn't done in time before we got to this bunch of tapings. So I'll try and either just have a big presentation for them, or we'll have a really good opening match for them in Impact. But as I say, as soon as we have the money to do so, realism is going out the window here, and we're just going to have a lot of fun. But I want to have a lot of tournaments, try and get a lot of guys in from Japan, from Mexico. Obviously we need the financial side to be sorted. Because we're in PM as well, I haven't been able to check how long it is until the TV deals are up, and we can hopefully navigate and negotiate better deals. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. Pretty quick one, but as I say, we are just getting through the tapings to get to the semi-finals of the World Cup. So tag team wrestling is taking precedent at the moment. So just watching, good day and good night. Might just use that from now often, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.